Hey y'all, you seen the title of the video. Your girl is back again with another story time. If you're to my channel, hey girl, hey. If you're a returning subscriber, I don't have to say anything because you know what's up. I know what's up. We know what's up. And that's on what? Oop, my man is texting me, y'all. And that's on what? That's on what? That's on period. And Mary had a little lamb. As y'all can see by the title and the thumbnail, today's video is another story time. This is one of those videos where you think you know everything. I was either 14 or 15. I had met this girl my 8th grade year, and we were literally only friends because we shared the same oxygen, y'all. We were friends due to proximity. She lived across the street from me. She was the new girl in the block. And again, I'm always trying to save a hoe. When nobody is drawn or gravitating towards a person, sometimes you have to let people be. But I was trying to be that connection. I was trying to bridge that gap because she didn't have any friends, and I know how it feels to be like the new girl. So again, we're gonna call the girl, let's call her First Piece of Bread. For short, we're gonna do FB because nobody likes the first piece of bread, y'all. So that's what we're gonna call her. So FB, we met because we literally lived in the same neighborhood. At the time, I was a walker and she lived right across the street from me. When you're a child, you become friends over anything. Like, your favorite color pink, my favorite color pink. You like seafood, I like seafood. We best friends. Literally, that's how we connected, y'all. I'm sure we had something alike, or we had a conversation, or maybe I complimented her and we became friends. After that day, we were walking to school together every day. She was always at my house and we were always texting. That was just my homegirl. I want to say within 2 weeks of knowing her, because I did live the school, everybody knew where I lived at in high school because I literally lived directly behind the high school. So probably a week or two after meeting her, she was at my house one day after school. And my mother ended up coming home, and y'all, I don't know what it is about black mothers, but they were ancestry.com, ancestry DNA. They were Ancestry before Ancestry was a thing, because my mother always thought she knew people by their last name. She would see a person and she would think that she knew the person. I don't know why black people think genealogy is something that you can see. My mom seen her and instantly was like, who your mama? She said her mom's full government name, and my mom was like, your last name, you said Patricia Johnson? Yeah, that's your sister. She graduated in 87. And FB is just like, yeah. And she's literally like, I know your mother. Your brother, which is my uncle, went to school with her mother, y'all. This was one of those times where she actually did know the person. But y'all know how black mothers are. If you don't know the person, they'll keep repeating the name until eventually you know the person. The girl was just like, yeah, that's my mom. And then she named off her auntie name, and she didn't know who that person was. So she just kept repeating it. She was like, Tammy? And the girl was just like, no, that's not my aunt. It's not the same Tammy. But long story short, my mom did in fact know who her mom was. She didn't know her on a personal level, but she knew of her mom, and that was the first time they met or whatever. And then eventually she ended up going home later on that night, or it could have been the following day. But my mother came to me and she was just like, Asia, I'm gonna tell you something, and don't get offensive, because I used to get so mad when people used to try to tell me about people that I know. I mean, you don't even know her. But again, y'all, at this time, we were only 2 weeks into our friendship. I didn't even know the girl like that. So for one, she should have never been inside my mother's house, because my mother never played about having company. The only company I can have over is my best friend that I've been friends with for, I want to say now we've been friends for 20 years. But at that time, well, not 20 years because I'm not that old. Maybe 15 years, y'all. 15, 16 years. But she's been my best friend literally since middle school. And my mom only ever trusted this one person to spend the nights in my house. And it was because she knew how her grandparents raised her. My mom knew she had an old Southern Alabama grandmother. So she knew that she could trust me at her house. But other than that, my mom wasn't keen on me spending the night to people's house and people spending the night to her house. So the fact that she was over there, my mom did not like that. But she was just like, that's not your friend. Be careful with her, because that is not your friend. And she also told me that her mom had a bunch of kids. At this time, we were only friends for about 2 weeks. So again, I didn't know her mom had a bunch of kids, but my mom heard things about her kids. Her kids be in the streets and they be in a lot of mess. That's what my mom told me. But at 15 years old, you can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing about my friend that you just met 2 seconds ago. And just because you know her mother, that don't mean you know her. So I'm hella defensive. I'm just like, girl, whatever my mom told me, it went into one ear and out the other. Fast forward, again, at the time, I didn't realize that we were middle class, y'all. I thought everybody had a matching bedroom set. Excuse my French when I explain this next scene to you guys, but at 15, I didn't realize having a matching bedroom set was not how everybody lived. Even though Now I'm finding out that really my mama had just financed a bedroom set for 87 months from Badcock. But at the time, I didn't know that. I grew up middle class, but you would have thought that I was a rich baby, y'all, because I didn't go without anything. Like clothes, we had clothes, I had food, I had shoes. If I wanted to do sports, which I did do track, I was a flat girl in high school. My parents, they didn't really tell me no about a lot of stuff. I didn't grow up struggling, so I didn't really know. But I realized that everybody don't live the same until I went to her house, y'all. I went to her house, and I also want to backtrack a little bit. When FB came to my house, it should have already connected because she was just so astonished by my bedroom set. At the time, I had a 5 matching. I don't even know if people still do that, because now that I'm thinking about it, y'all, I don't buy sets. I buy all my pieces separately. I might do the bed set and then a side dresser. But back then, y'all know, in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, everybody had a bedroom set. Everybody had a matching living room set. Everything had to match, or your house, it wasn't seen. So at the time, I had the 2 nightstands, the matching headboard, and I remember it was purple. It was super girly. My room was pink and purple, and it had flowers, and I had Hannah Montana. I had all this stuff on the wall. The room was just super tea, y'all, and she just kept complimenting everything in my room. She just really was overly obsessed with my room. The first time she ever came over, she just gave me hella compliments about my room. The first time I went to her house is when I realized that everyone does not live the same. When I entered her living room, y'all, before I even got to the house, the curtains were bed sheets. Her headboard was a Amazon box. The living room was surrounded by nothing. A coffee table and the couch, they just came from 2 different department stores. Like, it was like a potluck. Everybody just brought something to the house. It looked like the living room set it came from just different stores, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. And I just remember her having this big cinematic 100-inch. It probably wasn't even that big, y'all, but as a kid, I just remember her TV just being gigantic, and I felt like I was at the movies. I was astonished. I just remember saying, girl, when Love and Hip Hop come on, we watching over here, because I just know it's gonna feel like I'm at the movies. It was literally a 100-inch TV surrounded by nothing, y'all. But I just remember being just so amazed by this TV. We used to watch Love and Hip Hop. What else? Was Bad Girl? I think this movie, Bad Girls Club, was definitely a thing. We was watching all of the shows or whatever. So we just in her living room, we chilling, we having a good time. Fast forward, I end up going home. That following week, again, we got closer. We started doing tracks together. We would hang out after school all the time. If I didn't go to her house, anytime I would go to her house, she would always try to say she couldn't have company. It's best to go at my house. My mom doesn't like people over. Everything my mom didn't like, her mom also didn't like, but I would beg my mom, and my mom hated me having company over. So anytime my mom was at work, that's when I would bring FB over. So I'm literally at the house, and FB comes over again, and I just remember this particular day when she came over, I had my school clothes laid out on the bed. I don't know why I did that, why we did that. That's so embarrassing, y'all. But we used to lay our clothes out the night before. It didn't make no damn sense, y'all. But I had my clothes laid out. I had the headband that I was gonna wear, the ribbons, my jewelry, my shirt, my pants, my undergarments, my shoes. I literally had everything laid out on the bed. And she was like, this is what you wearing? I'm saying, this is what I'm wearing the next day or whatever. Keep that in mind, y'all. So we at my house, we chilling for a little bit. My mom and my parents, they end up coming home, and they're like, Asia, it's time for you to eat. And my mom, again, she was like, I don't like to eat in front of other people's kids, so tell your friend to go home. So I tell FB that we getting ready to eat dinner, so she needed to go home. So she ends up going home. As soon as the door shut, my mom is cussing me out. My mom is just like, I told you not to have her over here when I'm not there. And as a kid, I didn't understand it, y'all, but I have 3 other brothers. So my mom said that she never wanted to put her sons in a situation where somebody was making false accusations or claims that something was going on and her sons was there. She just never wanted to put them in that space. And again, I'm 15, so I'm not thinking of that. And as a adult now, I appreciate her very much, because y'all know molestation in all communities is running rampant. It's a lot of child abuse and things like went on in a lot of people's childhood that when you're a kid, you don't really realize it, but just looking back on the numbers and how prominent it is for somebody to have been touched or molested by a family member or a friend of a family member, or just things have taken place at other people's house and people don't ever speak about it until now. So again, I understood what my mom said now, but at the time, y'all, I was overly annoyed, and I still was rebellious, and I would still have company and friends come over when my mom was not home. And again, FB was one of those people. So we eat dinner or whatever. Fast forward, again, we would hang out after school. We would hang out in school. She also ended up joining the track team. So whatever friends I had, I was introducing her to my friends, and we were all meshing together. But at one point, my best friend, Denise, I love you if you see this video, girl. She could just never vibe with her. She was just like, I don't really like FB like that, because every time she see me, she be making me feel bad about the things that I wear. My best friend, if y'all thought, y'all didn't know me then, but I was one of those girls that I was matchy. I would coordinate everything. I had the bangles, I had the headband, I had the shoes, I had all the little glitz and glams that a little girl wanted. That's what I had at the time, y'all. And I would wear all 50 pieces, all of my banglets, all of my earrings, all of my little sets. I would wear everything at once. I remember in high school, there was this trend where girls were wearing pants and skirts at the same time. Hollister, it was anything that I wanted. Then y'all, I didn't lack for anything, so I would wear stuff, and people would say that me and my best friend.
Okay. Truth is, I did weightlifting with you last year, and you really kept me motivated. And you're a cool person to be around. I don't know what else to say.
We were doing the most or whatever. And keep in mind, I would always keep my hair done as a little girl. And looking back, I didn't realize that other people, they would be envious of that. I just thought, oh, people just didn't like me because I was pretty. But no, people didn't like you because they liked what you had and they did not have that. But as a kid, I didn't really understand that, y'all. So keep in mind, my best friend had also told me that she was not really fond of FB, but regardless, that was still my homegirl. So a couple weeks passed by, her birthday was coming up, and she was having a sleepover. And again, I already knew my mom's rule. My mom was totally against sleepovers because, again, she don't know what's going on at their house. She don't know what's going to happen at their house or how their mother is going to handle situations. So my mom never trusted me to spend the night to anybody's house except for my best friend, because she felt like her grandmother was old school like my mother. She felt like me knowing my mother was automatically going to say no, and she didn't care if it was Jesus' birthday. You was not spending the night to anyone's house, especially FB house, because she already wasn't fond of her, y'all. So instead of me even asking to spend the night at her house, I told my mom I was spending the night to my Betsy house, but I did not let my Betsy grandmother know that I was coming over. Once my mom dropped me off to my best friend's house, before her grandmother got home from work, I got a ride from my bestie's house back by my house, or maybe I walked. I don't know, y'all, but I really wanted to go to this sleepover because, again, me and FB, we were locked in. By this point, we probably were homegirls for 2 months, but 2 months as a child, that's 2 years. Y'all know. So fast forward, I end up going to the birthday party. When I get to the birthday party, it's a bunch of people there, and it's mainly just like family. It was 2 of her friends from her other school, but majority of the people was really just family. And as in family, her immediate family, because if I didn't mention, she had a 7, I think she was the 8th child. I think she had 7 other siblings. So it was a lot of kids there, a lot of aunties, uncles. It was just a whole bunch of family over there. And the first thing that stood out to me, y'all, I was the only person that brought her a gift. And at the time, I thought that's why her other friends did not like me, because they showed up to the birthday party empty-handed. And I understand at 15 we did not have jobs, but if I knew that it was somebody's birthday, I would beg my mom to give me money. Or anytime I had A's and B's on my report card, my dad would give us $100. So I took my money and I got her a Justin Bieber shirt. It was so cute, y'all. I got her this Justin Bieber shirt, and then I also got her a MP3 player. And if y'all don't know, Justin, I was Justin's first girlfriend. He didn't know it, but I was his first girlfriend. Everybody was obsessed with Justin Bieber, and I don't even like white men, but that mayo, you could put that dip on my chip if it comes to Justin, because that man is fine, y'all. He's still fine to this day, but as a kid, he was overly my man, y'all. Anyway, I got her this Justin Bieber shirt, and I got her an MP3 player. That's how you knew we were locked in, because to get her a shirt with my man face on it, it's egregious. But anyway, I noticed that nobody else got her a gift. Her parents and stuff probably got her a gift, but when I got there, my gift was the only gift at the gift table. Mind you, I showed up to the party probably like an hour after the party had already started, simply because I had to hitchhike a ride there or whatever. So we at the party, they have games there. There was cake and ice cream. They had all the things at a birthday party or whatever. And I just remember thinking her friends did not like me because I brought her a gift or whatever. I remember her mom had put on, I don't know if it was, we were watching reruns or BET. I don't know. We were just watching music videos on YouTube, or it was either BET or on YouTube. I don't really remember at the time what we were watching it on, y'all, but we was just watching dance videos on the TV. And we put up Sierra Ride It, and we're in the living room, y'all, doing this little dance. He love the way I ride. Sierra had a choreography for literally every song she came out with. So we in the living room. He love the way I ride. I got on the shirt, y'all, I promise. He love the way I ride the beat. Like, y'all, we dancing in the living room. And I just remember, I don't know if it was her cousin or if it was her other friend, but her other friend pulled my ponytail and started laughing, and she was just like, that's not your hair? Like, my ponytail, it was off, but it wasn't detached from my head, y'all. I had a drawstring. I had my hair in two little ponytails, and it was a drawstring ponytail, and it was just a button, the knot right here, and then the ponytail was just hanging. And she was laughing, and she was like, oh my gosh, that's not your hair? I thought that was your real hair. And then I just remember the other homegirl being like, no, that's not her real hair. That ain't her real hair. And not to say anything crazy about FB, but FB, I don't even want to say a scoop of hair, because in order to have a scoop, there has to be something to grab, y'all. She had a gravity of hair, like imagination hair. FB did not have a lot of hair. So I don't know why, but y'all know there's a lot of people that have that sentiment that black girls cannot have long hair. So she just automatically assumed that, y'all, which it wasn't my hair, but they thought they were going to embarrass me. I had really long hair at the time. It was prior to me even, I think I did still have my perm. I don't know, when did I go natural? I think I went natural much later when I did the big chop, y'all. But instead of her trying to embarrass me or whatever, I took my hair out that little bun, and my ponytail was just as long as the drawstring ponytail or whatever. So they was just like, that's not your hair. And I just remember her cousins and her other friends just touching my ponytail, trying to accuse me of lying about my hair. That was the first red flag right there. And even FB was just like, that is her hair. But it was just strange. I came over here to celebrate you and for cake, and y'all over here interrogating me about if my hair is my hair. I'm here for cake. We supposed to be having a good time. So after that, it got really weird, y'all. It got really weird after that, and I just reserved myself because I didn't like that. So I'm texting my best friend, and I'm asking her, see if your grandmother can come pick me up. So she's like, girl, my grandmother is not getting out of her bed at 10 o'clock at night just to take you from there to here when you could just walk home. Because mind you, we lived a block from each other. So she just go home. If they made you feel uncomfortable, Asia, just go home. Nonetheless, y'all, her grandmother wouldn't come to get me. I couldn't just go home because my mom would have wanted to know, how did I get home? Usually when my best friend grandmother drops me off, her grandmother beeps and she'll stay and she'll have a conversation. So she would have put two and two together that I was doing something that I didn't have no business doing. So instead of me facing my parents, I said, I'm gonna just face the floor, because again, there was no beds or anything. They didn't even have a mattress, y'all. So I slept on the floor or whatever. I ended up falling asleep at her house. At this point, I'll just go home first thing in the morning. My mom will be at work. Nobody's ever gonna know. So I end up going to sleep. And when I woke up, gonna take a shower before I went home, because her mom had woke up early and cooked breakfast and stuff. So I was gonna eat over there, take a shower or whatever. So I go to the bathroom, I get in the shower, she gives me a towel rag, and when I get out the shower, I'm going through my bag, y'all. And my bag is a ghost town. There's nothing in my bag. Mind you, I had packed 3 outfits. I packed pajamas for that night that I never wore, but the pajamas are missing. I packed an outfit to put on the next morning, and then I also packed, I don't know why, I had just packed a dress, y'all. The dress is gone, and I'm not even mad about the outfits. My undergarments is gone, y'all. My undergarments and my best bra. I don't know what it is, and don't lie and say I'm the only one, but when I was in high school, y'all, I had this bra. This was my best bra. I would wear this bra at least 3 times a week. My bad, y'all. Somebody called me, and now the sun is down. But anyway, sister, we gonna get through this story time. Let me go ahead and wrap this up. So where was I? I'm in the bathroom. All my stuff is missing. So I'm like, FB. I yell her name. She comes to the bathroom, and I'm like, girl, half of my stuff is gone. Can you see if any of my stuff is out there in your room? Just check your room. Maybe my stuff out the bag. She comes back, and she brings literally my pajamas back, and she's just like, girl, my sister them took it out your bag. I said, do you see my bra? Do you see my panties? I didn't want to go, what did you call it, free coochie? And I didn't want to free coochie across the block. I didn't want to have to do that, y'all. So I'm like, can you see if you see that? And she's just like, no, I didn't see it. This is the only thing that I seen in there. And I'm looking at her thinking, unless Baby Shark, a 2 and 4 year old, 2 and 4, that's how old her younger sisters were. unless baby shark end up getting a Victoria's Secret addiction at the age of 2 and 4, a toddler going to do with the bra? Come on now. So I didn't believe it, but at the time I wasn't thinking that she stole it. I was just thinking like, oh, it has to be in there. The kids put it somewhere, but whatever. So I just end up putting on the pajamas, y'all. I ate breakfast and I end up walking home. I went home or whatever. Following day was Monday. And we had track together. I feel like I'm rushing the story because I don't have no light. Let me turn on the light really quick, y'all, because the sun is completely ascending or descending. I don't like this lighting, but I know if I do not finish this story time, y'all gonna cut me up in the comments. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish it. I was gonna just do a part 2, but let me just go ahead and wrap it up because it's not that much longer. Again, I leave her house, I go back home. The following day, again, we have track together and we live in the same neighborhood. Every morning she would stop at my house because she passed my house to get to the school, because mind you, the school was literally in my backyard. So she waits for me. We do our normal thing. We go to school together. We talk, and there isn't any issue or anything like that. She was actually very appreciative of her gift or whatever. I did mention I did feel out of place when your cousin and your friend was questioning me about my hair, and she low-key tried to embarrass me when it came to pulling my ponytail. And I do want to go ahead and reiterate, y'all, it wasn't like she just pulled it randomly while we were doing the dance. He loved the way, I don't know, this little choreography that Sierra did while we were doing the freaking dance. She act like her hand got stuck in my ponytail and she yanked it. So to me, it just was like she yanked it, but really she act like as she was doing the move, she accidentally pulled it. But I know now that obviously it was intentional or whatever, because how she reacted after the fact. Anyway, we talked about that and she was just like, my cousins, my friends, they be doing too much, blah. We had a good time at her birthday party. We just wrapped that up. That following day, we're in track practice or whatever, and this day we were all running late, but I had gotten, what do you call that room? The locker room, y'all. I had gotten the locker room before them, so I was already in the bathroom stall, and I remember hearing her voice in there, and I was hearing some other people that was on the team. It was like 30 of us, and our coach would always be very aggravated and doing these long speeches saying how we never gonna be nothing in life. If we don't show up for track, then you ain't gonna show up in life. Like the man was over the top, y'all. This man, to me, when I quit track, this man told me I wasn't gonna be anything, and if I quit on track, I quit on life. At the tender age, I think I quit when I was maybe 16 because it was just a lot. I had a lot going on. So I quit, and he told me that I wasn't going to be anything. He was one of those type of coaches that would apply everything to the sport about everything in life. So I did not want to be late, or if you were late, he would also give you extra burpees, give you extra laps. He was just over the top, y'all. So I'm in the bathroom and I'm getting ready, and I get out of the bathroom and I can see out my peripheral vision. I felt like I seen my bra. Remember, y'all, this is my favorite bra. I would wear this bra 3-4 times out the week. This was the bra that would sit my girls up. So I love this bra. So I'm in a rush. I'm passing by the stall. It's a bunch of girls, but I'm like, that look like my bra. And I do want to point out, y'all, this was not a regular bra. The inside was light pink, and the outer part of the bra was the two-tone bra, so you can wear 2 different styles. So the inside was one color, and then the outside was hot pink, and the inside was light pink, and it had, what do you call that? So y'all see how is this part right here. This part had a hot pink trim on it, and sometimes when it would fold over, you can see that the inside was pink. Not saying nobody else could have that bra, but it's just like, what are the chances of you complimenting me on said bra and all of a sudden said bra goes missing? It didn't make any sense, y'all. But even then, I didn't ask her about it because I was in a rush trying to get to practice. So I end up putting my stuff back in the locker. Also, me, her, and my best friend, sometimes we will all just share the same lockers. If you come in late, all 50, 60, 100 lockers, they would literally be full, y'all, because everybody put their stuff in a locker. So I left my locker unlocked because I just figured that my best friend or her was going to put their stuff in my locker. So we go out, we do track practice. 3 hours later after track practice, I'm taking a ice bath, and FB is play fighting with one of the guys on the track team that she had a crush on. I don't know how, when she came up from the play fight, her shirt was up and I had a better look at the bra, and I was just like, that's my bra, and I yelled it. So of course she instantly froze up and was like, this not your bra? And I just didn't say anything after that. So I'm just like looking at her crazy because I'm like, I know my bra, but at the same time, it was just like a reflex. It was just like, as soon as I seen it, the sense left my mind and my mouth immediately said, that's my bra. I just claimed the bra, y'all. So she got mad about it and she tried to reflect and say, no, that's not your bra. I didn't say anything else after that. I'm literally I'm taking an ice bath, y'all. And if y'all don't know what an ice bath is, I'm literally in like a mini pool with another girl and I'm on my phone. And once I see that, immediately I'm over it. I'm ready to be hot. I'm ready. So I get out of the ice bath and I dry off. And they're still out there. After track practice, people would always just be talking, playing around. Y'all know how track practice is. So I go to the locker room and I'm getting ready to change my clothes. But something just said, I don't know who was listening or who was in my ear. Maybe the devil was in my ear. I don't know, y'all, who I thought I was. But I turned into an agent and I started going through her bag, y'all. Why not only is she wearing my bra, but my literal panties was on her. She had my panties on. No, not on, but she had my panties in her bag. Jewelry of mine was in her bag. And if that's not it, my makeup palette had went missing. Like, not like that. I did not pack at the sleepover was in her bag. So it wasn't just like could have got mixed up in her stuff. Like, things had to be taken from my house when she came over. So when I seen that in her bag, I'm like, all right, I'm definitely gonna bring this up, but I'm gonna wait because, like I said, once track practice ended, everybody was kind of in the locker room at the same time. So I wasn't gonna have time to talk to her about it privately. But again, we will always walk home together and go to school together. So I waited, I got dressed or whatever, waiting around. When she finally came in the locker room, it was like she was bad at me because she was wearing my bra, y'all. Instead of her like saying, I'm gonna hurry up, because she just should be like, oh, I'm gonna hurry up and get ready so we can go, I'm gonna be quick. She didn't say anything to me, and she was kind of being like, so I end up just grabbing my bag and I walked home, y'all. Walk home the following day. Like, she usually waits for me in front of my house. She did not wait for me. I just happened to come outside when she was passing my house, and I was just like, FB, wait for me or whatever. So she waits, but she kind of attitude that I'm asking her to wait for me. So I go ahead and bring it up and I say, do you have my bra? Like, my favorite bra. Girl, just give me my bra. Wasn't making a big ordeal about it. It was just like, it's a little weird. I'm like, just give me back my bra. Didn't even get to tell her that I know for a fact that you stole my bra because I found other belongings of mine in your bag. Because before I can do that, y'all, she went straight off. I'm like, give me my bra. That's not your bra. Why would I wear your bra? I got my own stuff. You think you better than me? Excuse me? No, I don't think I'm better than you. I never said that. You said that. So now it's, I think I'm better than her. I think I'm all of that. All because I just asked for my bra back. I just want my matching set back. Like, just want my bra and my panties back. And again, y'all, it was a very distinctive bra, so I knew it was mine. So the whole way while we walking to school, I'm just like, girl, I noticed my bra. She's trying to gaslight me and was like, no, I got this whole set from Walmart. Mind you, didn't get it from Walmart. The bra wasn't even from Walmart. So I started asking, I'm going to see the tag. Like, I noticed my bra. I noticed that's my size. I am a 34C. That's my bra. I guarantee it's a 34C. And the strangest thing was, y'all, she had bite as Tata. She didn't even have titties. So it didn't make no sense for you to be in my bra. Like, should have been the first thing that I noticed. Like, it just didn't make no sense, y'all. And this also was a push-up bra, but there was nothing because she was a size A cup. So bra didn't even make sense for her. Like, width of the bra can fit her, but the cups could not even fit her. So it literally did not make sense for her to have my bra. Forward, I go to class. She goes her separate way. And throughout school, we did have the same lunch hours together. She didn't sit at my table. We didn't sit together every time at lunch, but majority of the times we would sit together. So this time she sits at a completely different table. Don't really say nothing to me, like looking at me like there's a problem when literally you sold my undergarments. So all throughout school, I'm like over the situation. It's just like, whatever, that is my favorite bra, but it's okay. I can save up some money and I can go back, or I can ask my parents to get me another bra. So I'm not even thinking about it anymore, y'all. I hadn't told anybody, haven't even thought about it, but I was gonna obviously tell my best friend about it because my best friend had already told me that she didn't like her, like she was not too fond of her. And again, sometimes people discernment, you know, my discernment, it be lagging. It take a little bit of time to come in. So I was going to tell my best friend about the situation, but I didn't even have time to tell my best friend about the situation because my best friend came to me telling me about the situation. So she just like, Asia, what do I hear that there's supposed to be a fight after school between you and FB? And I said, a fight? She's like, yeah, apparently you went around telling everybody that you had on her, that she took your bra, that she sold your bra. I said, what? I went around telling people that she stole my bra. There's supposed to be a bra. Mind you, on this particular day, y'all, I had on like cutest outfit. If I was planning a fight, I would have came to school in sweats and a t-shirt. Like, it didn't make any sense, y'all. So the whole time my best friend is trying to update me on letting me know that there's supposed to be this fight. They already set out a time after school. So she's basically telling me, like, watch my back because this is what's going on. Mind you, my best friend was a car rider. Sometimes her grandmother would also pick me up and take me home. But literally, y'all, the school was in my backyard. So fast forward, after school comes, I'm waiting or whatever for her grandmother to pick the both of us up because my best friend said she didn't want me to walk home. She could just have her grandma drop me off. But her grandmother took a little too long. 5 minutes went by, 10 minutes went by. I just went ahead and walked home. Immediately, y'all, as soon as I step off the property, her cousin was there. Mind you, her cousins, they don't even go to our school. So she told her family to pull up. Cousins was there, and her home girl from another school was there. The home girl that was at the birthday party, they were there. They're all walking behind me, bullying me, talking crap, saying, you thought she was better than us. You think you all of that. Mind you, never thought I was better than them. Never thought I was all of that, y'all. So they walking behind me, talking mess and saying that I'm bald head, I'm ugly, just saying all of this egregious stuff. Like, and me in the same sentence is diabolical. Like, me glasses, like crazy. So they doing all of this behind me, and I'm just like, let me just try to make it home because I would rather not. Like, I knew we were gonna fight, y'all, but I would rather not fight right here. It was maybe like miles from my house, maybe less than that, maybe 0.2 my house, so my brothers can come outside and rescue me. Because remember, I had 3 brothers. At least I would be able to get rescued. But if we have a fight in between the school, who's gonna rescue me? Like, if they decide to jump me, who's gonna rescue me? So I'm letting them do all this talking. I'm not saying anything. They're just like, yeah, I'm about to get ready and hit you, blah blah, just talking a whole bunch of mess in my ear, y'all. They like directly behind me saying little stuff. And her cousin is just like, go ahead and hit her. Go ahead and just steal off on her, meaning just hit me from behind, y'all. So once we get to my, start antagonizing me even more. So I go in the house again, change it to a t-shirt, some shorts, and I'm pulling my hair up. And my brother, he already sees like going on. I didn't know my brother and his friends was like, so immediately I go back outside because at this point they had started beating on windows, beating on doors. Y'all, they was brrr. You would have thought they was a drum major. They was beating on everything. So my brother's just like, no, you're not going outside. I'm finna call mama. I'm not letting you go outside, fight them. Like, I'm not letting this happen. Like, I'm not letting you go outside to get jumped or whatever, because I would hate to have to hit girls. He was just like, y'all, when my brother get mad, his hands are very much what do you call that? Bisexual. Yeah, his hands are bisexual. He didn't care to hit women because he hit me. So he didn't care who he was hitting. So he was just like, to avoid that, you're staying in the house. So he's calling my mom. My mom is pissed because he's sending her a video that there's a whole bunch of girls in front of the house. And my mom, again, she's yelling at me on the phone saying, I told you not to be friends with them ratchet girls. And at the time, again, y'all, I thought she was just telling me not to associate people that had less than me. But really, she was telling me to figure out character, because the character was flawed and they were already envious of me from the jump. But I could not see that because, again, y'all, I so oblivious to BS. Like, I was so quick now to make a friend, but when I was younger, y'all, we can bond over anything, and you was my homegirl after like a week. But anyway, that's the story on how my homegirl went shopping in my closet as if I wasn't gonna find out. She went shopping in my closet and then tried to gaslight me because she couldn't take accountability for stealing my undergarments, my clothes, and tried to say that I was talking about her. Like, I started a rumor about her. Mind you, she's the one that told everybody that she had my bra and my panties on. Like, I never even got to tell anybody because you had already started this. I don't know, y'all. It was just, the whole thing was just strange. I hope you got panties now, girl. If you see this video, I hope you got panties and bras. I'm sure now you can afford freaking Victoria's Secret, but it was insane. Like, that was probably the first of many times my mom telling me not to befriend somebody and be careful, and then later she had to tell me, I told you so.